Hello guys and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, please be sure to check out my other videos to see if any of them might help you out with a do-it-yourself repair. YouTube provides me with statistics that show only about 10% of my video views come from subscribers. It would really help out with YouTube's algorithm to promote my videos if you would just click subscribe below. It costs you nothing and I would appreciate the support. Let's get on to today's video. Yes, I did just get done filling it up, and yes, that's all it cost. Perfect. Today we're taking a quick look at my 1993 Honda Civic, and I'm going to explain why this is the perfect daily driver and commuter car so long as you don't mind what it looks like. This one has the D15 B7, which is a 1.5 liter 98 horsepower beast. Has the single overhead cam, but it is non-VTEC. This one also has the 5-speed manual transmission, which is also known as the Millennial Anti-Theft device. My biggest selling point would be the gas mileage on this version. This is one of the top 10 most fuel-efficient non-hybrid cars ever manufactured. Officially it gets 44 miles per gallon and 51 on the highway. I used to have a 100-mile-a-day highway commute 5 days a week, and this one consistently performed at least that well after I'd overhauled the engine. I purchased this one about 1.5 years ago for $400 when I decided to do an overhaul on my Accord that was my daily driver at the time. This Civic had about 215,000 miles on the clock and had been sitting for about 2 years and left for dead. Since the car had all the parts still attached and would crank and run, I went ahead and grabbed it. The engine seemed to run okay and the check engine light was not on, but it consumed a lot of oil. The girl that owned it kept 5-gallon oil jugs in the front seat to keep it topped off while she was driving it. When I got it, it left a pretty thick cloud out of the exhaust and it had several engine seal leaks. My solution was to pull the engine and do an overhaul on it. This did not include any machine shop work. I purchased a complete engine kit from a company called Evergreen Engine Parts for less than $300. It included all of the engine seals, head gasket, water pump, timing belt, pistons, piston rings, and crank and rod bearings. Separately, I also purchased a Duralast clutch kit for $100 and a new torque to yield head bolts for $80. If you watch my series on my Accord engine rebuild, I did the exact same process on this D15. I started driving this car in October of 2018 and put at least 500 miles a week on it for almost the next 2 years. It currently has 244,000 miles, so that is about 30,000 miles since the overhaul. It has never once had an engine issue in that time. It doesn't leak a drop of any fluid and it does not consume any oil between changes. For less than $1,000 and some sweat and dirty hands, I say that's a pretty good deal. Let me go back and show you the cold start and let you see how well this engine runs. Okay, here we go. As you can see, it fired right up. Running smooth. No check engine light. Okay, we're going to let this thing come up to temp and let you guys check it out. Alright, video doesn't convey the sound of a running engine well, but I can tell you this one is smooth. Has no knocks, no valve train noise, no misfires. I'd wager this one runs as well as it did when it only had 5,000 miles on it. Okay, let's take it for a drive and let you see it go through some gears and run it at highway speeds. Okay, here we are in second gear and getting onto a 70-mile-per-hour interstate. It accelerates smoothly through the gears. It's pretty peppy for a 28-year-old 98 horsepower car. Comes up to highway speed just fine. Now into fifth gear. It's running smoothly at 3,000 RPMs, 70 miles an hour. Cruise control works great. It maintains your speed just fine when it's set. Car tracks straight. It's effortless to drive. Power steering works good as new as well. Comes to a smooth stop. And it also accelerates smoothly from a stop. Let's get it parked and I'll finish up with some nagging things about the car that I'm going to address in the near future. Okay, while I'm still in the car, I'll mention that the AC and the heat work, and that all the power windows still work in this car. I put this radio in. It cost me $30. It has Bluetooth so I can play music and podcasts from my phone. Now some problems that need to be addressed. This is the HVAC head unit here, and this slider here controls the blend door for hot and cold, of course. And this one is mechanical. It does not have a actuator motor that actually opens and closes the blend door. It has a wire that runs from a slider system in here that goes down just under the dashboard right there, and it manually opens and closes the blend door. There is a slider in here. It's plastic. It's broken, and I've tried a couple different things to try to fix it, but still it isn't right. I have a final plan that I'll show in an upcoming video, but in the meantime, you can just reach up under here and move the blend door by hand. It's kind of a pain, but it works. Okay, another problem will be the driver's window. It has a tab at the bottom, two tabs at the bottom. One of them is broken, the ones that bolt it to the window regulator to move the window up and down. I just have the window secured up now. It doesn't rattle or anything, but it's a pain to roll it up and down, so I'm gonna have to get that addressed in the near future. Key minder still works, believe it or not. And if you didn't know, that 4 dashes is the Morse code for the letter H. Pretty cool, Honda. That'll pretty much do it for what I plan to do inside of the car. Let me step outside. I'm going to show you what's going on with my CV axle joint. Okay, I have the front right tire taking off now to show you the problem with the CV axle. If you look on top of the components in here, try to get in where you can see it, you can see that's slung oil and grease everywhere. And what's caused that to happen is the boot for the CV axle is torn right here. And as it spins around, it slings all of that grease out that lubricates that. And what will happen is the joint will eventually fail. This joint has not failed yet, it is not clicking or anything, but this needs to be taken care of. I've driven it for quite a while like this. And my solution to that is just going to be to replace the whole axle itself. I'm not going to take that joint apart and get a new boot and cover that up. The axles for this car are not very expensive. As you see, I already have the new Duralast axle ready to go for this, and I'll have a video coming up very soon to show you exactly how to get that switched out. Not much to it, as long as you have a large enough impact socket to take that axle nut off. I believe that's 34 millimeters. When I do the video, I'll make sure I tell you the right sizes and all. So okay, let's get the tire back on and finish up. If you Honda boys can get past the lack of VTEC, you can't beat one of these for the money. The replacement parts are cheap and ready available. You can walk out of any auto store with a replacement part in your hand almost every time. Plus, there are millions of discussion boards and articles available for repairing these vintage Hondas. No, it's not much to look at, but every time I'm sitting in traffic next to some fancy ride, I have the satisfaction knowing that I have no car payment and still get the best gas mileage around even after 28 years. And this thing costs next to nothing to maintain. An added bonus is that every time I turn the key and it fires right up, I know that I did that and I got it right. It's very, very satisfying. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.